Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's your boy Haha Joker, man. And today we are going to be talking about the new head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders, Pete Carroll. So, not really breaking news, honestly. It's been out since yesterday or day before yesterday, but I'm just now getting to it. So, as you guys know, I'm doing these type of videos. So, anything with breaking news and things like that, I try to stay away from the rumors type stuff. So, anything breaking news related, we're gonna talk about. So, Pete Carroll, good signing. Do I like it? What does it mean for the future for the Raiders? So on and so forth. Now, do I like the signing? At first, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? At first, I didn't, like some people. But thinking about it, there is potential here. Keep in mind, we haven't had a good run of coaches in a good while. Probably for the last 10 years. You know what I'm saying? We change head coaches constantly, and our best opportunity to have a good coach was John Gruden, and we all know what happened in that situation. So, having Pete Carroll here does give us an opportunity to build a lot more with the Raiders. Not only that, but it somewhat invites potential free agents to come to the team because Pete Carroll is going to be head coaching the team. So I think once Pete Carroll brings in his team of guys, his OC, his DC, things of that nature, it's going to start a new wave for Raiders fans and for the Raiders organization. Obviously, we also have a new GM too, and with Tom Brady essentially overseeing everything, I like the move overall. So Pete Carroll obviously won a Super Bowl. Obviously, part of the reason, or one of the biggest reasons of why we have one of the greatest defenses of all time in a Legion of Boom. So, and I get Raiders fans and Seahawks fans also don't want to rest in the past too much, but these things are important to who we're bringing in for a head coach because it speaks on team building and it speaks on the ability to win a championship. That's what you want in a head coach, you know what I'm saying? So overall, it took me a little bit, but like I said, I do like the move. Also, like I said, I try to stay away from rumors, but there were talks of possibly Russell Wilson coming to the Raiders. Now, that I do have a problem with, but there was also more talks of possibly even DK coming to the Raiders after his contract is up and so on and so forth, which we'll be getting into that also. But starting first, Russell Wilson. I don't think I like the Russell Wilson move personally, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this. A lot of people are gonna have a lot of things to say about it, but me personally, I think the best quarterback that we can get or we should get out of all of these is possibly going to be where's he at? Justin Fields, right? Now, I get people have a stigma on Justin Fields from the Bears years and things like that. But what he did with the Steelers, I liked it. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. He got replaced for Russell Wilson. But the thing is, it's not like Justin Fields was even playing bad. You get what I'm saying? So Sam Darnold, once again, to me, he had one good year. You know what I'm saying? It was a great stretch, but how he played in that playoff game, how he played on the back end of the season, it started looking like Sam Darnold. You know what I'm saying? Like, throughout the season, we were seeing like, dang, this might not be that Sam Darnold anymore. And then as the season got to the back end going into the playoffs, like, oh, okay, there he is. You know what I'm saying? So that, me personally, I would stay away from that. And on top of that, what he's going to be asking for, I don't think it's going to be worth it. You know what I'm saying? I say you keep your cap space open. I say you stay away from Sam Darnold. Like I said, Russell Wilson was a potential player, a potential quarterback to come now because of the Pete Carroll hiring. Once again, I say let the past stay in the past and just let it go. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially too, same thing with Sam Darnold, how he played on the back end of the season. Russell Wilson is the exact same way. So getting into this, we're looking at the Steelers season. So we already know he was injured. We've seen Justin Fields play. Now, Justin Fields won 3 in a row. 2 of the teams are, if he goes to the Raiders, are in our division. So this Denver win and the Chargers win, you know what I'm saying? I don't think these are, and once again, how well or good he plays in the game to me doesn't dictate a whole lot, but more so, what are you doing to help your team win? This Chargers game, low key, in my opinion, is probably the best game he played, or that he got to play, I should say. So in this Chargers game, if we look at the box score, we see that Justin Fields, the one key thing I would say with Justin Fields is this right here. This is a problem for me, is the interceptions. Now, granted, interceptions are going to happen for multitude of reasons, tip passes, whatever, so have you, but you want to limit this as much as possible. But he made up for it with 245 passing yards with 1 touchdown, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 1 rushing touchdown. So keep this in mind. What Russell Wilson once was back in them Seahawks days, he's not that anymore. Is he still a dual threat quarterback? Technically speaking, yes, but Justin Fields is that younger dual threat quarterback. He's more of that Jalen Hurts, that Lamar Jackson, that Josh Allen. He has that ability to take off and hurt you bad with his legs. Russell Wilson just doesn't have that anymore. He's, you know what I'm saying? It's not his fault. He's just old. So it is what it is. But getting into the rest of this too, into the rest of the regular season games, we see Justin Fields. He got some losses. Obviously, he had 2 losses, but they're all by 3. He lost one game 27-24 and 20-17. So these are winnable games. And in the Colts game he lost, he had 312 yards. So we know he has that ability to sling the rock if he needs to. But obviously the run game is another huge part of his offense. But looking into this Colts game real quick, we see that even though it didn't amount to a win, we can see that, well, ultimately, you know, he didn't play bad. You know what I'm saying? He had the 1 touchdown. Once again, 0 picks. That's what we want. You know what I'm saying? Don't make no mistakes, especially if this game is this close. Don't be the reason of why your team loses because you made a mistake passing the ball. But we see he had 2 rushing touchdowns and 1 passing touchdown. Once again, that big time play, those big time plays, 55 yards, two rushing touchdowns on 312 yards passing. I mean, and once again, and I get it, it's a small sample size in a sense, but I think you bring him to the Raiders, you can amplify this so much more on more of the talking points that I'm about to get into, why I feel like Justin Fields will better suit the Raiders than Russell Wilson. But getting into the back end of it, right? We see Russell Wilson come in, you know, he beats the Jets, the Giants, so on and so forth. But then you get into the Eagles, Baltimore, Kansas City, and Cincinnati. Now, once again, you can make the argument that all 3 of these teams, or all 4 of these teams, are obviously in the playoffs. They're playoff contending teams. So they're going to be tougher matchups. But once again, we go back to what I just said about Justin Fields. Denver and Chargers are playoff teams too, and both of them are in our division, and he was able to figure out a way to get the win on both of them. So again, I just don't think what you'll get out of Russell Wilson, you can't get out of Justin Fields. It's just that simple. And on top of that, you know, we're not even going to talk about the playoff game because we already know what happened in the playoff game. So Russell Wilson comes in and then he loses 4 straight in the regular season and then making it 5 straight going into the playoffs. So I think you just kind of just let it go. You know what I'm saying? Let the past be the past. If Russell Wilson wants to go back to the Steelers, I say let him. But picking up Justin Fields, this not only helps you with cap because you're not paying this guy franchise money. You might not even pay him what you would be paying Sam Darnold if you were bringing him in. You get what I'm saying? So I would say you probably sign him to maybe a 2-year deal. Give him a decent contract. You know what I'm saying? And see what he can do for your team. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we know that Pete Carroll, he's on a 3-year, possible 4-year contract. If you bring in Russell Wilson, there's a good chance Russell Wilson might not even make it the 2 years anyways. You know what I'm saying? But with Justin Fields, he's obviously young enough, he's healthy enough, doesn't have an injury history like that. He'll get you into a lot of these games, or at least in a winning situation in a lot of these games, if you pick him up. You get what I'm saying? So, with that, we want to talk about, the weapons that Justin Fields is going to have. Now, I still think, and a lot of mock drafts still have it as we're taking McMillan, the receiver from Arizona. Like I said in my last video when we discussed this, I think that's the best bet. I think that's the best move. But once again, as far as weapons go, DK. Now, once again, rumor, just like the Russell Wilson talks, DK is playing next year, 2025, right? And this is his, signing and all that stuff. But in 2026, the 2025-2026 season, he can either void this contract or he'll be an unrestricted free agent. So ultimately, what I think is going to end up happening is that DK is going to make a tough choice. And that tough choice is that if they don't make the playoffs next year, DK is going to be gone. And with that, we have the cap room to possibly pay DK what he wants to be paid. Because keep in mind, you're gonna have Justin Fields, if you pick him up, not eating up a lot of cap. You're gonna have a rookie receiver, obviously not eating up a lot of cap. Jacoby Myers not eating up a lot of cap. Brock Bowers not eating up a lot of cap, and possibly a rookie running back, which we'll get into again, all being one of the potential weapons, not eating a lot of cap. So you have multiple guys on your offense who won't be eating up a lot of cap space. On top of that, the only real big-time defensive players you have is Max and Christian Wilkins. Everybody else, and last I checked, is pretty manageable contracts in my opinion. So with that, you might be able to pay DK what he wants after next year. Once again, I think if the Seahawks don't make it to the playoffs, he'll probably end up coming to the Raiders. That's my guess. If it will happen, who knows? But that's what I'm thinking. Especially with how his contract is looking, you can get this done. You can get this done for the next year. Especially if you show if you're able to show something on the Raiders too. You know what I'm saying? Like if DK feels like, okay, I'm going into a good situation. Justin Fields looks good. Pete Carroll's doing a good job coaching. There might be something here that I can go to, that I could probably propel this team into a deep playoff run going forward. So that's what I'm thinking that could happen. But once again, this is for the next year. But as far as free agencies go, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about the quarterbacks, but you still obviously have potential to get T. Higgins. But if not getting T. Higgins, you still have the potential to possibly get Chris Godwin, who I think will be another good pickup for the Raiders. Me personally, if you can get either Chris Godwin or T. Higgins, you'll be golden. Now, once again, I've said this before in my last video. Guys like this, T. Higgins and Chris Godwin, these guys typically will wait till after the draft just to see how things play out, where they fall. Now, I will say this. If somehow, which I doubt it will happen, if somehow you're able to get T. Higgins and or Chris Godwin before the draft, now this might change, this will change some things possibly going forward into the draft. But we're not going to reach that too far ahead. I'm leaning more to the fact that they're going to end up waiting until after the draft. So realistically, like I said, going into the draft though, you have the potential to get McMillan, which once again, I think that's going to end up happening. But outside of getting McMillan, I still think Quinshawn Judix, he will be a good second round pick for you. If not him, then Hampton, out of North Carolina, I believe. One of the two running backs, either Hampton or Judix out of Ohio State. And we already saw what Judix did in the national championship game. So there's obviously a lot of potential here. Hampton to me is more so of a power back. Me personally, I think Judix will fit the offense better because I think he has more range than Hampton will. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to do a lot more out of the backfield with Judix back there, in my opinion. And if you think about it, if the OC decides to, and you can implement some read options and things of that nature with Justin Fields and Judix back there, hey man, you might be working with something. But third round could go a lot of different ways. But I'm thinking third round they're gonna end up either going corner or quarterback. And me personally, I might lean more towards corner, but I don't know what talent is going to be looking like in the third round. But I say if you're going to get a quarterback, to me it's going to be out of Dylan Gabriel and Jackson Dart. Jalen Miro, I've said this before. I said this in my Miami video. If you haven't checked that out, feel free to go ahead and check that out. But I don't trust Bama quarterbacks, period. Bama quarterbacks have not been good in the last 10 to 20 years. I don't know of a single Bama quarterback that's been any kind of good. And if you want to throw Jalen Hurts in there, fine. But he did only spend 1 year there at Bama, and then the next year he went to Oklahoma. So, but regardless, you want to throw Hurts in there, that's fine. That's one quarterback out of 20 years of Bama quarterbacks that have not done nothing in the NFL. Absolutely nothing. So I don't trust Bama quarterbacks. It just is what it is. So me personally, I'm staying away from Jalen Miro. But if you have to get a quarterback, I'm thinking one of these two guys, DB wise, corner wise, which again, I feel like could use some help. If you can't get something in the draft and you have maybe some potential here, you could go get somebody. We know how Pete Carroll gets down. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking this guy, Davis, 6'4", 195, out of Arizona, same school that McMillan is at. You know what I'm saying? We know how Pete Carroll gets down with these type of guys. These freaking 6'4" long players. You know what I'm saying? So, hey man, if he's there, you know what I'm saying? He can make the best out of it for sure. I know Kansas, Kobe Bryant, he's not bad either, but there might be some potential here in them late third rounds. These guys might drop there, so that could be a path that Pete Carroll goes down. You know what I'm saying? But either way, I feel like you can't miss on this draft. If those 2 rounds consist of McMillan and Judix, you automatically, in my opinion, propel that offense so much more. And I feel like Justin Fields can capitalize with those weapons that he has, and he has the legs to get him out of situations, buy him time to get the ball to these guys and get these guys open. So you're looking at a potential. If you can make it happen, you're looking at a potential this year. You're going to have McMillan, Judix, Brock Bowers, and Jacoby Myers with the potential of next year of getting DK as one of your weapons. If you do not get T. Higgins or Chris Godwin in the free agency. So either way, me personally, you can't miss in free agency. You can't miss in the draft. This is a great year for a quote-unquote rebuild. You know what I'm saying? For the Raiders. So I think with all of that being said, I'm pretty sure they'll be above 500 by next year. Bare minimum, and this is going to be a reach, but possibly making the wild card, but they're definitely going to be above a 500 team next year, and we'll see what happens from there. But ultimately, I like the move, man. You guys let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Do you guys like Pete Carroll being the head coach for the Raiders, number one? And what moves do you guys think Pete Carroll is going to try to make? Because I feel like him doing this, he could probably craft the next Legion of Boom on the Raiders. You feel me? We give him this year the stockpile the offense, and then the next year, hey Pete, go ahead, do your thing. Rounds 1 and 2, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? And he'll probably take 2 defensive players next year to bolster that defense, or at least a secondary. You know what I'm saying? Because the D-line is good. You know what I'm saying? You got when it's healthy, you'll have a Max Crosby, you'll have Christian Wilkins, you'll have Malcolm Kuntz. The linebackers, I mean, they're not Ray Lewis or nothing like that, but I like Robert Spillane, I like Divine Diablo, I like Isaiah Palomar in the back in the secondary. I do like Jack Jones. He just gives Raider vibes. He gives that Raider swag. But Nate Hobbs isn't bad, but he's just middle of a pack corner. You know what I'm saying? So he might look to bolster that secondary. If anything needs to be upgraded, it's definitely going to be the secondary for sure. So, like I said, I like the pickup. I can't wait to see what the draft is going to look like. To wait to see what free agency looks like. And yeah, but y'all let me know in the comment section below. Do you guys like the move? And also let me know, what moves do you think the Raiders should make this year going into next year as far as picks and free agency? All right, y'all let me know in the comment section below. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, peace.